You're walking through a quiet forest. You're not hunting. You're not making a sound. You're just there. And yet, in every direction around you, animals you can't even see are already running. A deer freezes, then bolts. A bird stops singing. A fox slips into the brush. A squirrel scrambles up a tree and goes silent. You didn't threaten any of them. You didn't even look at them. So why is the entire forest terrified of you? Here's the strange part. It's not just deer and rabbits, the animals you'd expect to be skittish. It's everything. Bears avoid you. Wolves avoid you. Lions, the most feared predator on the African savanna, will abandon a fresh kill and run the moment they hear your voice. The single most dangerous animals on Earth are scared of a soft, slow, clawless creature with flat teeth. And that should not make sense. So let's figure out why. Because the answer is one of the most unsettling things science has discovered about our place in nature. Let's start with an experiment that proved just how deep this fear runs. In 2017, a biologist named Liana Zanet and her team set up hidden speakers across the hills of Santa Cruz, California. The area was full of mountain lions, pumas, apex predators that fear almost nothing. The researchers waited for a lion to settle down at a fresh deer, kill it had worked hard to bring down. Then they played a sound. Sometimes it was the croaking of frogs, a harmless control. And sometimes it was the recorded sound of humans. Just people talking calmly, reading from books, chatting. The result was dramatic. When the lions heard frogs, they kept eating. When they heard human voices, they fled immediately. They abandoned the kill they desperately needed and disappeared into the dark. More than 80% of the time, the human voice sent the most powerful predator in the region running. Not a roar, not a gunshot, just the sound of a person talking. And it wasn't only mountain lions. The same team and others around the world ran this experiment on badgers in England. They played the sounds of bears, wolves, dogs, and humans near the badgers' food. The badgers were cautious around bears and wolves, but human voices scared them the most. Many wouldn't even come out to eat at all while a human voice was playing. Then, in 2023, researchers took this to the ultimate testing ground, the savannas of South Africa, in the Greater Kruger ecosystem. They set up speakers at watering holes and waited for animals to come drink. Then they compared two sounds, the growls and roars of lions, the local kings of the food chain, against the sound of humans simply talking. Across thousands of recordings, the animals, elephants, giraffes, antelope, warthogs, leopards were roughly twice as likely to run from human voices as from lions. And they ran faster, and they abandoned the water more often. In the place lions rule, the animals were more afraid of us than of the lions. So this isn't a quirk of one species, or one forest. From California to England to Africa, the pattern is identical. Humans are the most frightening sound in nature. The question is why? The first answer is the most uncomfortable one. We are not a normal predator. We are something nature has no defense template for. Think about how a predator usually works. A lion hunts mostly the young, the old, the sick, the weak. It has to. Healthy adult prey is fast and dangerous, so a lion picks off the easy targets and the herd survives. Predators, in a sense, prune the population. They rarely threaten the strong breeding adults that keep a species going. Humans do the exact opposite. In 2015, an ecologist named Chris Darabont led a study comparing how humans hunt versus how other predators hunt. The finding was staggering. Humans kill adult prey, the prime, healthy, reproductive animals, at up to 14 times the rate that other predators do. And when it comes to other carnivores, bears, wolves, big cats, we kill them at around 9 times the rate any natural predator would. We don't take the weak and the leftover. We target the biggest, the strongest, the most impressive. That's why the study called us something specific, the super predator, an animal that kills in a way nothing else on Earth does. And here's why that matters for fear. Evolution prepares animals for the predators they grew up with. A gazelle is born already wary of lion shapes and lion smells, but nothing in millions of years prepared the animal kingdom for us. We don't have claws they can read. We don't have a hunting pattern they can predict. We walk upright, which no other predator does. We kill from a distance with spears and arrows and guns, so there's no safe range. We hunt in coordinated groups using language. We are, from an animal's point of view, an alien threat that breaks every rule a predator is supposed to follow. You can't outfight us. You can't outthink us. The only thing that works is to run before we even get close. Which brings us to the second answer. Most of this fear isn't even inherited. It's learned and it spreads terrifyingly fast. We know this because of places where humans never were. When sailors first reached remote islands like the Galapagos or parts of Antarctica, they described something almost unbelievable. The animals weren't afraid. Birds landed on people's heads. Seals ignored them. You could walk right up to creatures that had never encountered a human. and they felt no fear at all, because fear of humans is not automatically written into every animal. It has to be taught by experience. And the lesson gets taught quickly. Once humans arrive and begin hunting, animals learn within just a few generations, sometimes within a single lifetime, that this strange upright creature means death. A bird that watches a human kill its flockmate doesn't forget. A deer that survives one encounter becomes warier for the rest of its life. And animals teach each other. A mother who flees at the sight of a person raises young who flee too. The fear ripples outward and downward through generations until an entire species treats humans as the ultimate danger, even individuals who have never personally been harmed. Scientists have a name for what this fear does to a landscape. They call it the landscape of fear, and it's bigger than just animals running away. When predators, including us, are around, prey animals change everything about how they live. They feed in different places. They come out at different times, often switching to the night just to avoid us. They spend less time eating and more time with their heads up, scanning. In some places, animals that were once active during the day have gone almost completely nocturnal in just a few decades, purely to share the planet with humans without meeting them. And this fear has consequences that ripple through the whole ecosystem. When that mountain lion abandoned its kill at the sound of a human voice, it had to go hunt again, spending more energy, killing more deer. When animals are too afraid to feed in the best spots, they raise fewer young. Our mere presence, just the sound of our voices with no weapon, no violence, reshapes where animals go, what they eat, when they sleep, and how many of them survive. We are a predator so total that we don't even have to be hunting to change the rules of an entire wilderness. So let's go back to that quiet forest, with you standing in it, having done nothing at all. The fear moving through the trees around you isn't paranoia. It's accurate. It's the single most rational response in all of nature. Every animal that learned to fear us survived to pass that fear on. Every animal that didn't is gone. The deer bolting from your shadow is the descendant of countless deer that bolted in time. Its fear is a kind of memory, stretching back thousands of years, and at the center of that memory is us. We like to think of ourselves as just another part of the natural world, a clever animal, but an animal all the same. But the animals don't see us that way. To them, we are not part of the forest. We are the thing the forest learned to run from, the most successful predator that has ever existed. So efficient, so unpredictable, so lethal, that creatures who have never seen a human, born in places we've barely touched, still carry the instinct to flee a shape like ours. You walked into the woods wanting to feel close to nature, and nature answered the only way it knows how, by going silent and getting out of your way. Not because you're cruel, not because of anything you did, but because of what you are. The one animal that every other animal agreed long ago was the most dangerous thing alive.